Komen is setting an aggressive goal, a bold goal, they're calling it, to reduce the current number of breast cancer deaths in the U.S. by 50% within the next decade. So what exactly does that plan look like? How will they accomplish it? We have Julie McMahon, Director of Mission at Komen Columbus, joining me with more. Always good to see you, Julie.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
So let's start with some of the basic stats about breast cancer, I think, because we always hear kind of the 1 in 8, but I think in general, it's still a pretty scary situation.
Absolutely. You know, we made a lot of progress in 30 years of our organization, and we've been here 25 almost now for Komen Columbus. We've really done a great job, I think, of people can talk about breast cancer. There is a lot more awareness, so we've made a lot of progress, but we still do see 40,000 deaths from breast cancer every year in the United States, about 2,000 in the state of Ohio, so we still have a lot of work ahead of us.
And locally, we're not doing very good. We've talked about that a lot in kind of your 30-county area. Unfortunately, the numbers are pretty depressing.
Right. In Ohio, we actually are the third highest state in the number or in the rate of breast cancer deaths in the United States. So, you know, we have great healthcare systems in Central Ohio, great access to care in a lot of our areas, but we do have a lot of populations who are not experiencing all that great care that we have available, and that's a lot of the work that we do at Komen Columbus is trying to address that.
So talk about this bold goal. What is the plan?
So the plan is we want to take all of the work that we've done over the last 30 years and all of the advancements we've made, all of the great new technologies we have, and really launch that into a commitment and a promise and a future goal of reducing breast cancer deaths by 50% in the next 10 years, which is very aggressive, but we have a good plan to do it. We know two big focus areas that we can focus on, and we really think that we can do that, and it will reduce, that'll be 20,000 lives saved every year if we can meet that goal.
That's incredible. All right, so why do you think so many people still dying from breast cancer? Because that's, I think, the scariest part.
Right. Well, one of the big contributors is if we catch it at too late of a stage, obviously, and then we don't have as many tools in our toolboxes to address, you know, the disease itself. We also have certain kinds of breast cancer that we don't have as good of treatments for. So triple-negative breast cancer is one, which disproportionately affects younger women and women of color.
Yeah, that's what I had, and it's scary because they tell you we don't have a lot of treatment or research on this.
And that is our goal, is to not have anyone hear that, because the most scary thing about any kind of cancer is when they tell you we're not sure what to do next, and we don't want anyone to hear those words. So one of our big focuses through this bold goal is increased focus on research that will specifically target those kinds of diseases that end up being metastatic, or disease that is metastatic, meaning it is already spread.
Okay, Julie, how will you accomplish this goal? Because this might be the most difficult part, because you mentioned it's a big, bold goal, right? So there's got to be a kind of a plan to get there.
Right. So the plan is our research investment. We just announced $33 million of investment across the world in a lot of different technologies and a lot of new treatments. We've already seen some great treatments come out of that. We are looking at a vaccine for breast cancer and using immunology. We just found a new gene that contributes to metastatic breast cancer. And then health equity is a big issue locally that we are fighting every day. And that's what all of the funding from our race goes to, is helping the research as well as helping people here on the ground who are not accessing all of the great resources that we have here, and making sure that everyone's getting equal access to that.
Because a lot of times, in being involved in the grant process and all that, it's as simple as getting somebody a ride to the hospital or scheduling a mammogram for them. It's these small things that make such a huge difference.
Right, and we really want to make sure people have a hand to hold going through what is a really complicated healthcare system. It's very hard to hear scary words and then digest those words and make critical decisions and ask critical decisions. Healthcare is becoming so personalized, and so you have to know what questions to ask to get the best care for yourself. And so we have tools for that, but we also have programs for that. And people can always call us as a resource if they're facing decisions like that and they want decision tools and information to help them make those decisions.
Okay, and let's talk about that research a little more. We're going to put some of this puzzle piece kind of on the screen right now, and this is all the parts that you talked about, having to put all those together. That's the overall plan, right?
Right. We have to do a lot of different things, and I think that's what makes Komen really unique, is that we are on the ground in 100 cities across the United States doing this work, covering as much of the community as we can while we're doing the research. So we're making sure the research is happening and making sure people are getting access to everything that's breaking through. because it doesn't help people if they can't actually get access to these new treatments that we're developing.
And let's end on a good note, because you mentioned there has been a lot of success. You have increased survival rates since you've been here, decreased mortality rates. So all we're doing is wanting to continue that goal, get it a little heftier, because we've come a long way as far as research and progress, right?
Right. We really need to throw gas on the fire. We've done a lot, but we've reduced the rate of death, but we still have 40,000 women and men dying from breast cancer every year, and that's unacceptable, and we want to lead that fight. We know there are a lot of partners locally and across the world to work with, and we just want to make sure that we make this goal happen.
All right, Julie, thank you as always. So good to talk with you.
Thank you.